Oh yes, legends. Happy Sunday to everybody. Much love to everybody on the stream today. What's going on? Hope you're doing great. We are here on a Sunday. Yes. Let's go. We're going to start off by saying hello to the beautiful community, Bitcoin right now, where it is. You know, is this an ABC? Are we ready to roll over? What bullish scenarios do we have? We'll discuss a lot of the scenarios, guys, today. We'll get some stuff ready. Levels, invalidations, trading setups, what I am looking for. And if that is of your interest, make sure to smash up the like button, guys, okay? Before I go through the comment section, it is super important for me to let you understand that this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision, guys, or any trading setups, okay? Just sharing my analysis, knowledge, information to you guys, okay? Right, let's go right away through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. Phew. Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? Is this getting exhausted? Is it a three-wave correction? Are we just on the verge of rolling over, starting the week? We've got some good news coming in, right, with Middle East, US, right? Stuff going on there, which is good news. Will it end up being pumping news for the week coming? Or are we rolling over, right? We want to discuss the technical analysis because that's where we understand the probabilities, the potential directional bias. We knew that there was a possibility of taking out 64.2k, which was the recent highs here. Understanding that we had a diagonal, understanding this local structure to get that leg up. Now that we've got the leg up, it's getting choppy. We're gonna break things down here, guys, okay, and try and make you understand what's going on, right? What could happen. Right, let's go. Comment section. Ilrich, hey, how are you doing, my man? Much love. Beth Maria, Andy, Feliz Domingo. Happy Sunday to you. Glad to see you here, Beth. Much love to you. Love Sunday live streams. Awesome, my man. I want to create algo trading. Should I go with cloud AI or developers to create quant? I have no experience whatsoever with algo trading, AI trading, not at the moment anyway. I've tested bots in the past. They do not work, at least the ones that I tried long term, so maybe things have changed. For the moment, I am not I do not have any experience. My trading is by my analysis, basically, as you do know. Olivier, how are you doing? Hey, hello legends. Hello legends, Laduk. Yes, Sunday stream. Komuna, how are you doing? Bath Maria. Hekma, let's go. Dark One. Hey. Wayne, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. What a treat on a Sunday. Thanks, Andy. You're very welcome, my man. We can still win competition. Absolutely. Something that I want to discuss is that we are number 1 in P&L. I think we ranked number 10 in P&L, number 1 in trading volume. So we are getting a piece of the cake. This is awesome. Okay, this is out of over 3,000 teams. We are at the top, guys, and this is very important, of course, for reputation and you know, to see that we have a massive community. And we are number 1 on Bluffin, which is one of the top exchanges. It's not the top eventually, but it is very, very high. And it's really awesome to see that we are on the top, guys, which is absolutely great. Okay, whoever joined the competition, absolutely awesome. Congratulations. Lots of them will be taking a piece of the cake if you've been trading actively, of course. And it's just great to see that we are up there, right? So yes, we still can win the competition. We will. It looks like we've got less than 24 hours. And by the looks of things, we are very likely going to stay number 1 here in trading volume. Harmonic Sunday, yes, go. Shenyai, Andy, much love from Switzerland. Awesome. Much love from Spain. Hi, Andy Legend. Bolakun, Path Maria, Mika, CBM. Yes, sir. Mind Pillar X CBM dominating. Are we surprised? No, we're not. No, we're not. We are the big fish. We are the War of Whales. That's the name of the competition. And yeah, based on the volume, we are very much whales indeed. Okay, number 1 out of 3,000 teams. So yeah, naturally, the people that are creating big trades, we are moving volume. That's for sure. Nice to see you, my man. CBM. I'll be seeing CBM very soon. Next week. Much love, Mattia. Greetings from cold Germany. Oh, is it cold there? It's probably going to get better very, very soon, right? Hello from Chile. Awesome. Much love from Indonesia. That's awesome. Want to go to Indonesia to visit. Pateres, how are you doing? Right. Let's go. Time to take a look at the chart. I'll go through the comment section. Could it go higher from here? It could absolutely right? It could definitely go higher. Hello, Andy. If you can check monthly, we're going to do higher time frame today. We're going to keep it a long stream today, guys. I've got some time, you know, I've been a little bit busy throughout the week. We'll look to do longer streams. Myself and Devil had a meeting that we're going to, you know, split the days with YouTube because we want to focus more in the trading community. And we're going to be splitting YouTube. One day yes, one day no, right? For myself and Devil. And just because Sunday, you know, I've got some time, free time off, right? Decided I want to do a major update here with you guys and get some stuff ready, right? Get some stuff ready. Andy, what is your bear market target for BTC? Interesting. Bear market target for Bitcoin. You know, it's when we go, it all depends on what metrics you're going to use, because if I am going to use the 4-year cycle theory, and based off the 4-year cycle theory and the all-time high drawdown, CBM Mattia does know very much about this. He's actually very in favor that, you know, a 50% drawdown is still quite small. Previous cycles has been between 70 and 90%, right? So we could easily get down to 60% drawdown, even 70% in my opinion, which would take us down in the next coming months. We've only got about 4 or 5 months till we have the completed year bear market cycle. right? Because on the previous cycles, we have had a bear market from the top to the low for around about a year, right? Give or take 11 months and 2 weeks, or slightly more than 12 months, right? But this was from November of 2021 till November of 2022. In the previous bear market, we had something very similar, December of 2017 till December of 2018. So 1 year from all-time high to the low, 1 year from all-time high to the low. Now, if we're going to go with that same theory, right, we can fit in some Elliott wave analysis scenarios as well, which kind of favors that we still have a few more months of bear market, right? Despite any strong relief rallies, which is very possible, of course. And if you ask me, bear market target zone, I would say in between $50,000 and $35,000, right? This would be my zone. We can't say an exact level, right? 36.5k is is going to be the bear market low. It has to be very much a range, and that is by sweeping up these lows right over here. This reaccumulation bull flag phase would be nice to sweep up these lows, which is $50,000, slightly below 50k, right? Will we go slightly lower later on? This is basically the area that I would think, based on the 4-year cycle theory, based on the drawdown, right? We've only down slightly more than 50%. It is common to get 70 to 80%, which would take us down to this region. So yeah, that would be mainly my targets. When we do consider Elliott wave scenarios, keeping it simple, we can look at this as an impulsive move down with an extended fifth wave. ABC correction for this A, this for a B, and now we have, wave C in the development. Will this be wave 1? We create 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We've had a very shallow, quick B wave, or are we going to form a flat right over here and then move down in an impulse, right? We still have, give or take, right, 4 or 5 months till Q4, and we still have time basically to have any bounces and then go down later on. Okay, but I have to say I did buy some spot Bitcoin here around about the 60, 61k level when we reached it. I didn't manage to buy it, but at 59, that happened relatively quick. So yeah, it's interesting to start DCAing, that's for sure. But a little bit of more downside does make a lot of sense for the price of Bitcoin, right? Bear market targets, I would say realistically, between $50,000 and $35,000 sounds like the area where we should be bottoming out in the bear market, right? That's considering the drawdown, and that's considering that we still have 4 or 5 months, right, of a little bit more downside, right, till we reach October, November. So yeah, that's basically, I would say, the targets for the bear market. But I've bought some spot Bitcoin already. I still have, cash in the sidelines to buy more Bitcoin at lower prices, preferably, of course. And we are traders. We try to adapt to the local conditions, and that's what I want to explain in today's video update, right? What new day trading scenarios that we could turn into a swing trade do we have on Bitcoin locally, right? 1 hour time frame, 15-minute time frame. What do we have? It looks like it wants to get ready for a pullback, okay, to the downside. And the most important range that we are going to discuss today is this one right over here, because there's only a few scenarios, around about 3, maybe 4. We could maybe fit 4 scenarios, and it's relatively simple to understand. This area where we are at the moment, without a doubt, is a little bit of resistance. We did form a 3-wave move. Now we do have the possibility of, with the new information of the last few days, to have a 5-wave move, right? We were talking about multiple 1-2s, potential diagonal here, but as we've created new information, you can actually finish a possible impulsive move. You would have to have a running triangle here in this zone. for your wave 4 and then a wave 5. There's a bit of a running triangle in this area with the new information of the weekend, and now your last push in a wave 5, which could be a wave C, right? Inside of the trading community, a few days ago, we're giving levels and scenarios. This lower high right over here with a bit of a gap was kind of interesting for an SFP. Okay, right over here, we literally just SFP'd late last night or early this morning, depending on where you're at. But this gap, basically, this fair value gap with this major bounce, this is very, very classic for a swing failure pattern level, right? You're going to have some stops above this high, and it's very, very common to just get that move to the upside and create that rejection, maybe back test. So yeah, interesting zone of rejection naturally, where we have this high. That could be in your guideline to take a trading decision. I did not take it. This was late last night. During the weekend, I don't do any trading really. So I'm not in a short here locally, but it would have been interesting to be in that short based on that swing failure pattern. That was a level that we were discussing just a few days ago inside of the trading community. In the trading community, of course, we discuss scenarios, we discuss levels that we can consider. SFP level 64,695, right, which is that lower high. And, you know, basically getting ready with levels and scenarios with the updates inside of the community. So will we reject? Will we go higher? What do we have? Let me know in the comment section. Do we start off with a bearish case scenario? Do we start off with the bullish case scenario? Let me know right away, okay? In the comment section, because I'll go with whatever scenarios you want me to go through, right? There's a bullish one, there's a couple of bullish ones, there's a bearish one as well, naturally, which is that ABC, keeping it simple. And we'll bring the levels and setups that we need to figure out here for new trading opportunities. Talking about trading opportunities, a few days ago, we mentioned about a gold bounce here at the lows, swing failure pattern. Very, very nice. I did take this long position, as mentioned on the stream a few days ago. Mentioned, guys, you know, this for me is an awesome bounce, sweeping up the lows of March with the point of control of a reaccumulation area on gold. And we're already getting a bounce of a few $100, so from 4,000. Very, very nice, very easy, understandable trade to manage risk. And this was mentioned on YouTube, by the way. Somebody was pointing out gold, SFP, double bottom to enter the long. I know a few of you, without a doubt, are in this long position, right? It's super easy. Sweep up the lows of March, take out that low. I'm not a gold trader, but if I see something that is easy and very clear for a setup, such as this reaction at the point of control of this reaccumulation on gold, I'm going to trade it because, I'm not going to go as aggressive as I go with Bitcoin, but I am in that long position on gold as well as a long here on Bitcoin. So that trade was given here in the community. On YouTube. We were just looking at gold for that bounce a few days ago while we were coming down here. And for the moment, it's doing a-okay, right? You can protect position, very tight stop loss, as the reaction is very, very small. I mean, this is your stop loss range. Okay, it's incredibly tiny compared to the the reward here, which is over a 2.5, 3 to 1 risk reward by today, right? In the last couple of days. So absolutely awesome. Very, very nice. I do think that we could be getting some resistance at the Valley area low. That's 4,300. I would expect a little bit of more upside. And this is a zone where the price could really, really struggle on gold. Might get that reversal. If we reclaim it, then obviously the point of control could be a little bit of resistance. But a reclaim of the Valley area low on gold of this zone could be an interesting sign of strength. So it's one of those levels that you want to hold on as a swing long potential, because yeah, this has a possibility of getting a recovery at this point on gold, right? Let me know in the comment section, anybody that managed to get into that gold long position. Just very simple, very easy, right? As we discussed a few days ago. And the beauty about, gold, it can be traded on Bluffin, guys. Okay, on Bluffin, you can trade gold using crypto, which is awesome. Okay, and other markets as well. Remember that you do get 25% discount, all right, for new signups, $500 deposit bonus as well. And if you sign up to Bluffin, you can join the trading community for a few months for free, guys. You can choose Bluffin 2-bit weeks, okay? You got all of the best deals and perks, right, with the affiliate link down below. Minimum deposit for your own trading, you get a few months for free, and you can even extend those months if you are active, guys. Okay, send me the word access on the Telegram if you are interested, because we're going to be very, very active. Now we're going to slow down on YouTube a little bit and give a little bit more love in the community with our personal trading setups, myself and Devil. Smash up the like button if you do like that. Okay, peace, Maria, much love. Mark Dutch, thanks for joining the stream, my man. Much love to you. Bearish scenario, bearish first. Bearish. I think there's a little bit more bearish scenarios first here for Bitcoin, so we're going to discuss that. If deal is signed, then we can expect bullish move. It all depends on Iran and US war conflict. Shreen, it can definitely have an impact. Okay. Finally, I was waiting on you, Andy. Ramsey, much love. Disclaimer, yeah, disclaimer is was at the beginning of the stream. Smash up the like button, Mike. Mika, much love. If a deal is signed, sell the news, dump. NFA, yeah, I mean, no financial advice. This is the thing. Can we rely our trading on deals and news? And absolutely not. Absolutely not. I attempted a short position on Bitcoin a few days ago. It got stopped out. This bounce over here, right? We were talking about potential lower high. Can we form a lower high from here? And a very, very tight stop loss. I got stopped out with a minor loss. And remaining in a long position from here. There's time, guys. It's Sunday. There's low volatility. So we got a lot of time today, right, to discuss the different scenarios, right? And there's no volatility. We need to get people ready for what could happen. Main levels is going to be time, guys. No rush. There's no setup for me here at the moment. There will be a setup likely coming into Monday tomorrow, which will draw the different levels and scenarios and probabilities, right? But on Wednesday, we did discuss that this little pump right over here could have been a bullish sign, and this is where I entered the long position. I mean, we actually talked about it on YouTube, right? On YouTube, I do have the video here somewhere, where if the price did get a pump to 62.5, I got a lot of DMs, people following up with this scenario. If we got this pump here, we do have a very, very strong bullish case to get to 64.2k, right? Despite the news and agreements and deals and all of that, we are aware of the bullish case scenario, right? If the price were to pump here, we understood that the impulse, we were lacking of 4 5s, right? We explained this on the stream a few days ago, that if we do not continue forming lower lows here to form a solid impulse, because we had multiple 1-2s in the scenario that we were discussing, a pump to the golden pocket would invalidate 4 5 scenarios, which would mean that this could be the end of a correction considering the diagonal. And on the retracement after hitting 62.5k is an interesting area to long with stop loss beneath the low. All right, we even discussed the setup here on the long position that we did have in this zone, right? If we were to get that retracement somewhere around on the stream here. But So that's the main long that I'm in here at the moment, right? And it all is probabilities and, understanding that when we get this move to the downside, we had a 3-wave potential, right? With A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, right? A, B, C. And the bearish case scenario, which was with multiple 1, 2s, I wanted to see 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? And a 4 and a 5, get a little bit more downside here, because that's the wave 3 that I wanted to label. With this pump, we are overlapping wave 1s. So with this pump that we had, the probabilities that this could be a 3-wave structure increased drastically just with this pump, meaning that the move down could be interesting to consider a long position, stop loss at the low, to get all the way up to 64.2k, which we are here already. I've taken over 40% of the profits, but I'm going to leave a significant chunk because, I explained that it is interesting to look for swing longs at the moment. For me, this is an interesting area of rejection, but we all know that there's massive levels at 57 to 58k, right? There is, we have daily levels down there at 58, 57. We got a monthly point of control, very, very strong from this consolidation that we had in 2024. That's awesome, right? I want a long down there. We get down there, we get proof of support. We can identify an impulse finishing in the 4-5 waves, right? Getting a little bit of exhaustion reclaims. This is an awesome zone to consider long positions. Will we get down there, right? We might pump to plus 70k before we get down here. So, I'm interested in detecting possible intraday entries and taking some profits, but overall leaving a significant chunk, realizing the bullish case, right? Because I know a lot of you, including myself, when we're going to talk about this bearish case scenario, it's like, come on, man, it's an ABC, right? It's getting exhausted. There's no power in this move, right? It's going to dump, right? It's a 3-wave move, just like any other 3-wave pumps that we've had throughout the bear market, right? 3-wave, boom, boom, bang, right? Claim the highs, roll over. Same here. Bang, bang, bang. Claim the highs, roll over. 3-wave up, 3-wave up, dump, dump, right? What do we have here? On the 50-minute time frame throughout the last week's price action, look no further, right? 3-wave move up. So, I would say that this does look, it wants to, peak out in this area, right? And then start rolling down very aggressively coming into next week. As someone said, based on the news, right? There's deals signing, right? And everything's going to be A-okay with Middle East and Stretch of Hormuz and all of that. And as Mark Dutch says, no financial advice, but sell the news, right? Everything's good, markets are going to pump, and then they end up rolling down. On the chart, we do have a possible ABC structure here. Now, we don't have incredible resistance where we are at the moment. The main resistance that we do have to the upside is around about 66k. We do have a naked point of control. We do have a bit of a gap here when we go through the 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. This Coinbase is getting a little bit glitchy. There's a little bit of issues with Coinbase, so I'm gonna flip to Bybit more likely throughout the next coming days. But an SFP from this level, this lower high at 64.7k, basically, where we have that gap, right? We've got a bit of a gap. There's not much resistance in this zone, so if it needs to reject, preferably it is at this lower high, which we can see that it's formed a little bit of an SFP throughout yesterday, right? So this would have been the ultimate best zone to get into the short position. like with the best entry possible with a very, very small stop loss. I mean, this would have been ideal for the entry. I'm not sure if any of the legends were trading throughout the weekend, but it's a level, predefined level that we had ready, okay, for anyone to consider a short position, at this specific lower high. It's a level of interest. It's a level to pay attention. It's an SFP zone. 64,695 is one of the levels that we can consider a rejection. And for the entry and the stop loss, it doesn't get any better than that, right? Now, if you want to decide to get into a short right now, then your stop loss needs to be wider. And you're literally speculating that this is an ABC and we're going to roll over. I like much better these SFPs entries because they just much better to manage risk. So we are going to focus on this local time frame as well. This is not enough information to understand if it's corrective or it is the start of an impulse down, right? A start of motive waves with 1-2s. We're going to discuss this zone very, very much, but most importantly, the levels that we have to the downside and levels that we have to the upside. ABC here is without a doubt a possibility. I know there is a chance for price to start rolling over from here very aggressively. There is a chance. And the main reason why there is a chance is because we have a three-wave move up. We've claimed the highs at 64.2. And, you can understand that this could be a completion already of a three-wave move. Where can we reject? One of those little fair value gaps, one of those lower highs to create an SFP, which it did late last night, right? Dropping $400, $500. There's low volatility in the weekend. We can expect low volatility, right? So nothing too major, but that would have been the best entry naturally. And if you didn't catch the ultimate high SFP, we need a bit more information. I didn't manage to catch a long position down here. It was suggested that a local double bottom is very interesting for a long because we had the point of control here, right? Acting as support. Is like, guys, local double bottoms here based on, we have a wave 3. Do we get 145 or 345s? Double, triple bottom is a good option to get into a long. I missed this long position. I didn't enter this long. I missed it. You need to be very much ready in front of the chart, right? Getting the alerts to take that long position. If I miss an SFP such as this one, I missed it, guys. It was yesterday night. It wasn't not trading through the weekend. We missed trades as well, right? Then we need a bit of bearish confirmation, right? Just like here, I'm not going to long in this area, but if we do take out 62.5, understanding the probabilities, you're invalidating the wave 4. You're overlapping with wave 1s. And, this very much counted nicely as a 3-wave move also. If you get this pump to 62.5, the pullback, if we get one, right? This is the thing, right? Sometimes I say if we get a pullback here, it's great for a long position. Sometimes the pump just does this, right? And it's like, hey man, there was no retracement. What the heck, right? I couldn't jump into the long. Well, that turns into a missed long position. If we wouldn't have got this pullback, I couldn't long here. Needed the pullback down, right? Get a good entry, better risk management, better risk to reward. If we would have pumped, then so be it, right? There's going to be a trade tomorrow or in a couple of days. For me, this was enough to say, this is a good long area. It's a good invalidation stop loss. And the projection to 64.2K is very, very real. It's just very, very valid at this point. Because based on this pump, this can be very much a high probability corrective structure, which has been proven to be so. Because if you do take the high, right, after this move down, this cannot be an impulse. There's no ABC flat here that you can form. This indeed was proven to be a corrective structure because you took out the high. If it were to be an impulse, you need a lower high, right? You need a lower high and still continue down. So that overall projection that we discussed a few days ago, that if we get that pump to 62.5, the probabilities of, pulling back and looking for the price to shoot up to 64.2k has proven to be correct based on the probabilities, right? So this was basically the scenario that we were discussing, right? If we get that pump up to 62.5 plus, right, correction, and then basically move up to 64.2k plus, right? So that was the long-in area for me when we consider this scenario. How can I get into a short position right now? Because I'm in no short and I want to get into short. I missed the SFP. Great for an entry, great for a tight stop loss. If I don't get into the SFP, I need to get in on a sign of weakness. Break the local uptrend market structure. We need to break it and we need to get a bounce. Sometimes the bounces are steep, which are great. Sometimes the bounces are very shallow and then you dump down, right? This is something that we cannot control. But ultimately, I would want to see a confirmation of break of structure that could form an impulse to the downside. And the theory is the same on every trade that I take. If I do not catch a double bottom or an SFP, I need to wait for a confirmation potential impulse, and the pullback is going to be my entry. If I don't enter here, I'm going to look to enter here, right? Naturally, no longs to be taken up here. Shorts are looking more attractive. It's just detecting how do we enter, right? You either catch the high on an SFP level, which is 64,657 in the case of Bybit exchange, right? Some exchanges have slightly different numbers. And if you don't catch the high, I need to catch a confirmation breakdown in an impulse, breaking the uptrend structure. And the pullback is, it's my only option. If you nuke down very fast, it's going to be very complicated for me to enter. I need to detect the impulse down and the correction, right? And it's the same thing that we discussed this week, middle of this week here in this zone. Same thing, but inverted, right? You look for the double bottom or the reaction at the point of control. If you're not catching the low, we need it to wait for a local structure change, understanding that probabilities that this does favor to be a three-wave structure after that pump, meaning that from now on, thanks to this pump over here, we do have some priority, some options for the price to actually move up to 64.2k. This is why long stop loss projection to the highs here, and that's the current long trade that I'm in at the moment, okay, based on that information, right? Pump retracement, this is the zone that I enter. Stop loss at the low, now stop loss protected eventually. So I'm in no short at the moment, but I'm interested in shorts, not gonna lie, because the bearish case scenario, we're in a bear market, we're downtrending. Shorts look attractive with this bounce, and we do have a possible projection down to get to sub 59k potentially by the start of next week. Maybe not, maybe we pump, right? And this is the thing about trading, it's all understanding when the probabilities shift, right? When probabilities are in your favor. And most bullish case scenario here is that you're forming an incredible amount of multiple 1-2s, which I don't think is the case. You have something like 5 1-2s here. I think an impulse finished does make sense at this moment because you've got a little bit of a long range here, which does fit in nicely for a way forward. It would have to be some kind of a running triangle here. a bit of a running triangle right there, and then this little move as a wave 5. So having 2 1-2s or 3 1-2s is okay, but having 4 5 1-2s, I mean, it's not impossible. There's no invalidation for that. They are kind of smaller than the first one. First one is the biggest one, so the multiple 1-2s does kind of fit still. But this would create an incredible breakout in 4 5s. It would be very, very bullish going to plus 70k if this is multiple 1-2s for sure. So want to be aware. This is a moment that you can create that short squeeze. You don't want to get trapped in the bearish, vibe, which is only down, 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 right? We want to be aware of bigger reversals, bigger short squeezes, right? And it's very much an option. It's still very much a possibility. This is why we need to manage risk when we consider shorts. So you either get into the short on an SFP where your stop loss looks incredibly small, very hard. I'm not in that short, guys. I'm not in the short position, but that would have been the best entry, just to have an incredible tight stop loss above the highs and a projection to come down to sub 59k. Not many times we catch these major incredible 10-to-1 risk rewards, right? So what I need to see here is a little bit of confirmation breakdown. This range throughout the weekend is proving itself a little bit overlappy. Yeah, not an easy one here. Not an easy one. This can be forming a corrective structure. At the same time, there is a chance of a kind of a diagonal. Kind of a diagonal here is very much an option. So yeah, not an easy weekend. Steep correction. That's very common after a leading diagonal in this case. I mean, this could be wave 1 or it could be a wave 8. So yeah, there is a chance that this is a motive wave in a leading diagonal. This is a correction in a wave 2 or a wave B already. So the bearish option is there. Leading diagonal, 1 or A, bounce, sharp, quick move, bounce, which is very common after a diagonal to get to the 61878 Fibonacci zone. It's just very, very common to retrace that deep after a diagonal. So, this for the diagonal does fit very, very nicely for this to be bearish. 1, 2, 3, right? You're building up your third, multiple 1-2s, and then break down. Or if not, an A, B, and you're finishing your C wave, right? Yeah, not an easy zone, because you do have the bearish case, you do have the bullish case. You could be forming a larger corrective structure, but when we do zoom out, I have to say, yeah, what I would have to see here, I would be entering the short late, okay? Well, not late, particularly late, but not at the highs. I need to see a kind of a confirmation that we're forming an impulse down here. So we could be having 1, 2, now we're forming the next 1, 2. First 1, 2 is a leading diagonal, as explained now just a few minutes ago. And it just could chop around here. It looks like a bull flag, and then it dumps down. It feels kind of ready that this could happen. But at this point, I'm not going to speculate on a short at the moment. But it does seem kind of right that this could happen, and this could be a finished ABC, right? Got a 3-wave move. You've come above these highs. And when we connect the waves, we got 1, 2. You got your third wave here, and just because this is long and very sideways, it's just nice to try and fit in a triangle here, a running triangle it would be, where your B wave claims the start of A wave. A, B, C, D, E. Triangle here fits nice for a fourth wave. And then the recent pump that we got between Friday and Saturday, well, no, Saturday, sorry, is your fifth wave. So there is a good chance that this could be a finished 5-wave move up. So it kind of feels ready for a rollover. It feels ready. You've claimed the highs. You got this lower high right there. So, but I'm not going to short where we are at the moment. For me, it's either short the SFP of a certain level, or if not, wait for the confirmed breakdown on the 50-minute time frame, which would have to be looking something like so. Right, you got your choppiness that kind of looks like a bull flag, but it ends up breaking down, right? You get your high volume wave 3, and then you get your 4 5s, and then you get your bounce, right? Your rangy corrective bounce. This zone, we'll be talking about the resistance levels, right, throughout the next coming days, especially inside the trading community. I've let the trading community know that I'm going to share, we are educators. I'm going to share every single trade that I take. Every single trade that I take will be shared, inside of the trading community. We want people to fish on their own. We provide the levels, the setups, the risk management. We are educators, right? We want people to see the light and do this on their own, right? At the end of the day, you need to fly alone, right? In trading. You are the one that's managing your own capital. You take your decisions. But, we are, myself and Devil, we're always happy to share our trades, right? If you are interested in that, guys, you know where to find us, okay? It is inside of the Telegram. Send me the word access, okay, on the Telegram, and join the trading community. So, yeah, unfortunately, if we dug down here, say, $2,000, $1,500, I'm going to miss that move. I'm happy to miss the move, the first move down. I missed this pump of $2,000 from the low. I missed it. I knew that this was a good possibility. We actually discussed this on YouTube, guys. Any double bottoms down here at this point of control, it's a very, very good long position in my opinion. And even though that I created the plan here on YouTube, I didn't take this long. So it doesn't matter. We can't catch everything, right? So if I don't catch the great low here, understanding that we could still go lower, so longing on the little bounce was not an option. If I don't catch the low, I'm not gonna long here, because I understand, we're downtrending. We could form 4 5s here, and it's just not an option. I need break of structure, sign of strength, realizing that the bearish scenario after this pump decreases in probabilities, then longing here looks incredibly attractive on that pullback after this move. So the same is going to be applied in this zone. I'll be happy to miss the first leg down, because we're talking about the bearish scenario right now. We're gonna cover the bullish setups at the moment. We got a couple of bullish setups. Bearish scenario it's mainly this one, where we are looking at the price to peak out in this region, okay, and start rolling over in an ABC. We do have a connection of a 5-wave move up here based on this running triangle, wave 4, long in time, right? It just fits nicely that we could have something finished here as an ABC. So as I missed that SFP, I need to wait for the impulse down, guys. At least we don't know if it's going to be exactly as the drawing, but it's all about detecting that impulse down, right? How do we detect it? you need a big strong move down, right? You need that impulse wave 3 at some point, regardless if you create another 1-2 here, right? You form 2 or 3 1-2s and then you dump down. But it looks like as so, right? Where you're just chopping here, it looks like a bull flag, and then you dump down, and then you get the choppiness right into the 4-5s. This is mainly for the bearish case scenario, okay? The bearish case scenario needs a bounce here. If we get an impulse down throughout the next 1 to 2 days, right? Between today and tomorrow, we end up breaking down, we form an impulse down, we get the choppiness in 4-5s. The bounce is going to be very studied. Myself, Devils, we do calls in the morning. We analyze the situation to provide the best scenarios and setups for the trading community. We're going to study this move very, very carefully, because if we end up forming that impulsive move down, then once we get the bounce or the range, right? We don't know exactly how the range is going to develop, but once we get the next information, once the impulsive move is finished, because it will finish at some stage, regardless if it's here or if it's here, it doesn't matter. It's going to finish at some stage, and you're going to get the bounce, right? Range bounce, which we don't know how steep it's going to be, but we will do our best to detect the best zone to consider a short. So that's going to be it. You need to have an overlapping rangy structure, right? Where you form a 3-wave move, boom, you overlap, right? It might be a WXY, ABC, in a WX, double zigzag, whatever. But we will be detecting if the movement up is highly likely a correction formation, or if it's going to be, a start of an impulse with multiple 1-2s, right? We'll be aware with invalidation levels and stuff ready naturally. But this would be the zone that I would be getting ready for that short. So I'm in no short at the moment. I missed that SFP. I need a break of uptrend structure that has to be in a impulse. We could have multiple 1-2s on the formation throughout, yesterday and today. We need a wave 3, right? We need the big move down, right, of $1,000 or so, right? Maybe a little bit less, as this is the 15-minute time frame, but have a kind of an impulse down. Then the bounce is going to be interesting, because what we would be looking at on the bearish case scenario is that impulsive move down to sub 59k, right? That's what we want to see throughout the next coming days, right? Between 1 and 2 weeks or so, right? So you could have another 1-2 and then break in the 3, right? We just don't know, but we want the change of structure, at least locally here, to have a little bit of more confirmation. And this would be the main swing short that I would be looking for. Okay. And this is literally what you try and detect when you have a corrective move to the upside. Sometimes you're going to get shallow bounces, but you want to see a 3-wave move up and then the impulsive move down and the correction. This was a shallow correction, but this naturally has a wave 2 and then bang, wave 3, right? Very, very shallow. So this is what I'm going to try and spot throughout the next 1 to 2 days if the impulse down is developed, so we can join a short position, right? Based on this, basically, right? We don't know how exactly the correction is going to develop, but we'll do our best to execute that swing short. Okay, stop loss naturally will be the high. You got a nice impulse down. If you're looking for a lower high in a wave 2, you're expecting a wave 3 at some point, right? Maybe another 1-2 and then the 3 and then 4-5, right? Getting to sub 59k. So it's let's wait, let's be patient. I'm patient for the short. If you don't catch the Pico top, you need to know how to catch the Pico top. If you don't, you can get hurt, you can get burnt, right? People would be shorting, adding to shorts and all of that, right? Stay away of all of that. It is better to follow the trend, and locally the trend is up, right? Throughout the last few days, it is up. higher time frame, it is bearish. So you want, it's very, very difficult, right? Same as here, right? This does look like it's going to roll over. It's bearish. We had this bounce, right? And you're moving down. It's hard to, catch the low in this area. I mean, well, we had some stuff ready, right? We did have some stuff ready. Double bottom, point of control. It wasn't that difficult. I just missed it. Because it just wasn't in front of the chart. But overall, in the long on a higher low. So it doesn't really matter shorting here or long. I mean, long in here or long in here. This had a little bit of more confirmation, right? Break of structure, boom, higher low. So the same thing needs to happen here for me to be confident in that short. We need the break of the local structure. We're uptrending at the moment, right? So I mean, this could be another higher low, and then bang, right? It's like, wow, I was not expecting that. And this turns out to be multiple 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, right? And it just suddenly, boom, gets an explosion breakout in a wave 3. And everybody's like, well, I thought we were going to go sub 59k, right? A few days ago. It's just, markets are, can be very confusing, guys. But when you understand it can happen, if we were to get an explosion here to the upside, which I personally do not expect, I think this is unlikely to happen. But I understand it can. So if it were to happen, I wouldn't be too surprised, because we overall building bullish momentum, and multiple 1-2s, would be a scenario, right? So this is why I'm not a fan of shorting if I did not get the high. I'm not going to short as we move down, $500, just not worth it for me, because I know another higher low here and take out the highs is going to stop me out. So I would rather enter the short once we get a bit of break of structure, bearish confirmation, and that has to be as explained, 1-2, or maybe another 1-2, and then boom, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? Then I understand, right, an impulse has formed. We've broken the structure, the uptrend structure, and then the choppy bounce, right, or range that we form here is going to be the moment to look for that swing short position. Okay, that's how I am going to enter the short. I need 1 to 2 more days, right, easily, to have a bit of confirmation. And we're going to go through the bullish case scenario as well at the moment, which is it's possible that we could form an ABC and then we pump up, and this is a 1-2, 1-2. Right? So yeah, that's going to be interesting. But because you wanted the bearish scenario, there is a chance of this being an ABC, getting finished here, or finished already, right? ABC, keep it simple. It's there is a chance of this being finished. If you do not short an SFP level like the one here, then you need to wait for a structure breakdown and a bounce on the correction. I mean, that's how I'm doing it, guys, right? So I'm currently not in the short position. I'm only in that long position, which I'm very happy, because I got a bit aggressive, throughout last week. You guys know I missed a lot of the, mainly most of the movement down. I wasn't longing. There were a couple of longs at certain levels, but they were broken. You know how we trade. If a level is broken, you're not interested in any long positions, right? And I didn't have any clear entries. I'm not FOMOing short, so I missed a lot of the move down. And I got a bit aggressive last week with some trades because I didn't trade much. No revenge trading or anything. I didn't lose, but I didn't win. Just missed the move. So throughout the previous week, got into the quick SFP, made $8,000 on a move here. And right now I did get stopped out with a minor loss on a short in this zone, but the stop loss was something like $2,000. I'm sharing this inside of the trading community, right? Sharing the stop loss, the trades that I took. Shared the stop loss of the trading community, which was very, very small. 2,300 loss, and sharing the long, of course, of Bitcoin and gold at the moment. Long of gold is doing well. I mean, I'm not a gold trader, right? I'm mainly Bitcoin. This is why the profits on the long of gold are not that aggressive, right? I usually chill on you know, S&P and gold. Unless it's a very, very clear trade, I usually go heavy on Bitcoin when I understand the probabilities, right? So this long position, I've taken it as a swing, which I think will get stopped out, but I'm interested in swing longs, right? I want to get a huge swing long position. And if it's not going to be this one, which I believe it's not, I believe it's not, but we're going to leave it will be easy to rejoin a short in the next 1 to 2 days, which we will discuss inside of the trading community. By the way, if you are interested in the trading community, you know where to find us, guys. We're going to be very, very active there throughout the next coming weeks. We've scheduled differently, myself and Devil, how we're going to do YouTube and trading community. Going to give a little bit of more love inside of a trading community, sharing our own personal trades so people can get into epic trades if they wish to follow, right, as well as myself and Devil. And you know, I am interested in looking at that short, and let's see if I can detect that short safely with good risk management inside of the trading community, right, throughout this week, if we were to roll down, right, in the next coming days. You know where to find us, guys. Send me the word access and to join the trading community. If you do sign up through Bluffin, which you do get 25% discount, or 2bit or Weeks, you got the best deals. You do a minimum deposit for your own trading, you're getting inside of the trading community. Okay, I'll send you the info if you send me the word access to the Telegram, personal Telegram down below, guys. So that's what I need. Bearish case scenario, we need, I missed the high. That's okay. I missed the low here. Don't worry, I'm going to manage to get into a higher low. So I missed the high here, not to worry. I will manage to get into a lower high. Very likely, okay? There's a chance that I can miss it, but that's going to be the game plan, right? Be patient and see if the market comes to us, right? Gives us that opportunity, which is that break of structure in a impulse. I need a wave 3 and a 4-5 formation to then detect the overlapping bounce that we can identify as high probability corrective, as we can get into that short position with higher probability of not losing this trade, right? Now, of course, this trade will be managed, okay, because an ABC possibility and then up, it is there, right? So we're going to have to manage depending on the information that is given later on, but that's just follow-up. Of course, we do the follow-ups inside of the trading community. Now, let's go right away through the bullish case scenario. I cannot keep it more simple here for the bearish case. The only way that I could get into a short, if we do not get the breakdown from here with the 4-5s, 1 2 1 2, right, 3 4 5, and then the bounce, and then shorts, I'll be looking for shorts, is a local double top. I would accept a local double top. If you break up, there's no shorts. If you break out the local highs, there's a bit of a gap with no resistance here, guys. There's, at least for me, I don't have any major resistance. There's a naked point of control at 66.7k, which is from this range. There's not much resistance in this area, so the price could bounce $2,000 from here. So if the price does not swing failure pattern from these local highs, I have to say it's a valid short, okay? Because the price, before reversing, it likes to be cheeky. It could wick, and then it could take the dump, right? So a local double top here is valid. You've got a fair value gap, lower high. You know, you have the potential of having a finished ABC coming to the end stages. So a local double top is valid. If you break it, there's no short. Okay, for all of those aggressive SFP traders, it's either breakdown 3 4 5 4 5, get the overlapping bounce, detect that it is corrective, that's the short, or a double top. I will not be shorting here, as this could be another higher low, right? It's like, you know, SFP in the highs right there and shorting down here. You know, that's not going to happen. This is the same thing. If it dumps, then okay, that's okay. We'll be waiting for the bounce. But imagine if, yeah, you create an SFP, which you did here, you miss the short, SFP in the local highs, right? And then you say, oh, well, it's SFP and we took out the highs here, A, B, C. I'm going to enter a short right there. I missed the SFP, so I'm going to have to short here. Stop loss, you know, give or take out the high. And you think that you're getting into this trade? Absolutely not. This would be the same thing here. You know, I'm not going to short here. We could form a higher low. The only short is a double top or breakdown confirmation and then the bounce. Okay, enough talking about the bearish case. Let's talk about the bullish options. What bullish options do we have? There is actually a couple of bullish options. Let's break them down. Then we can discuss some levels. To the upside, there's not much levels, guys. If we were to break up, I would remain patient. Only 66.7 from this range does have a naked point of control. 66.7 that is. If we were to break up the local highs, we don't have much resistance here, so I would just remain patient, let the price do its thing, go to higher prices, and then form a bit of choppy range. That's when we can discuss, do we go higher or do we roll over from here, and the opportunities that could form. Okay, so for shorts, nothing in this zone, only double top or breakdown, and then the bounce will be looking interesting for the short. Okay, no major levels. 66.7 is the only major naked point of control, and there's a big gap. So let's discuss the bullish options right away. What bullish options do we have? Let's go through the comment section. Let's do a like button recount and see how many likes we do have, as I do get a drink of water, and drink of water that is. 127 likes, 370 people watching. Smash up the like button, guys. Let's go. Let me get a drink of water. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes. I'll just get a sip here and I'll be back in 10 seconds. Right, let's do a bit of comment section and we'll talk about the bullish scenarios, legends. Cheeky BTC, Sunday streams are now my favorite. Sunday streams are different. Much love, Mark Dutch. Singularity, that wick from the high of the range wasn't claimed on Binance. Yeah, it seems like on Coinbase it wasn't. Also, Bybit for me has been one of the best. I did a lot of back testing in the past of swing failure patterns, and Bybit has been one of the best by claiming highs and lows and actually forming an SFP. I did back test a lot of SFPs on Bybit, and on Binance and Coinbase it seemed like they missed certain highs or certain lows for an SFP, and on Bybit it was pretty accurate. So I will be going back to Bybit. I used to like Bybit a lot based on SFPs, volume profile. It's pretty accurate with the volume. So I'll be flipping back to Bybit. Well, yeah, it's interesting. Somebody said, you know, on Binance that high was not hit. Also on Coinbase, just missed it by a hair. Let's go through comment section just for a few seconds here, guys. Thank you, Mark Dutch. Mark Dutch, the legend. Beth Maria. The past full moon was a bearish disaster. Yes. Seems we're going back to 59k. Any bad news? Why price is crashing? Well, I mean, price crashing. Well, I mean, maybe on the lower time frame, right? Getting a little bit of a move down of $100. Yeah, not. I wouldn't consider this a crash. It's just still consolidating, right? It is the weekend. I've explained the bearish scenario. Could it start crashing from now? Absolutely, it could. And that's what I would want to see here. Either get the wave 3 getting formed, right? Or get a double 1-2, also possible. And then the wave 3 and then 4-5, right? Get an impulse down. Then we realize that this does look good for a wave 1 or a wave A, right? So the bounce needs to be studied very, very carefully to look for short positions. And that's where I'm going to be entering my short. Not here. Not here. Need a bit more confirmation, as explained, right? So let's go through bullish. Some bullish options. Because we have the chance of this being a completed impulse with the new information that we formed throughout the weekend. Yeah, this could be this is very rangy. Could easily have a cheeky triangle here. Cheeky running triangle as a wave 4, and then the impulse here for the wave 5 to finish. So yeah, there is a chance with the new information that this is actually an impulse. So if you have the diagonal, the bearish option was given. This ended up being a leading diagonal, guys. What can we do? What can we say, right? We always say that leading diagonals, do carry lower probability. However, correction here was very dodgy as well, right? Very, very fast WXY. It just didn't fit very, very nicely, right? The 3-wave correction. Leading diagonal it is. 3-wave down it is, right? So I have to say that if you did long the double bottom or this higher low, make sure to collect. You did hit 64.2k plus. It is the target mainly, right, of that trade. I'm going to keep a chunk open, realizing the bullish case option, right? But yeah, around about 50, almost 50% of the profits have been taken. I'm taking this as a potential swing, right? Because I don't want to be the guy that misses the long. Missed a lot of the short, don't want to miss the long this time. So I positioned for that scenario that was explained a few days ago, right? To get that bounce at the 61.8.7, right? Getting a pullback after hitting 62.5, right? That was a longing option to get all the way back up above 64.2. So now looks like we want to roll down here a little bit, moving down. There is a possibility. Bearish option is the ABC, as explained throughout the last hour. 3-wave ABC. We start an impulse, boom, 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 right? And we are developing our wave 1, right? That's the bearish option, and I need to detect wave 2 to join this short position throughout the next couple of days. Bullish option is a multiple 1-2, which your invalidation naturally is the low right over here. Let's see if we can get that low. That's your invalidation for the higher time frame multiple 1-2. You like it or not, it's an option. This is invalidation right now, as this could have formed an impulse to the upside. with a wave 4 being a running triangle. It fits, yeah, it fits nice. That's probably finished, and now we're getting the pullback. Will the pullback be aggressive? Boom, 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 boom. That's it. We roll down to sub 59k in the coming days. Or do we form a corrective move? It overlaps, it finds support, and this ends up being a multiple 1-2. 1, 2, another 1, and another 2 on the formation here to form a higher low. Most important support would naturally be the this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, already losing value area high and the point of control here would be difficult. Would be difficult, of course. We'd have to see a very, very choppy corrective move here. Move down, move up, move down, then move up again, right? It's going to take a couple of days to develop something that we can detect that it is corrective, just like here, right? It did take a few days to analyze this move down to come to the conclusion with that long position that we had on Wednesday, right? Wednesday, Thursday. We needed information. We needed information, right? So I need information here to see if it's going to be of my best interest to short it or, you know, long it. We need more information, and it is going to take a couple of days coming into next week. So yeah, the fact that we got the value area high and point of control is a little bit nasty, because if you lose that, it's not going to be easy for the bullish scenarios, right? You're losing point of control, right? It's not going to be looking good. There's going to be a lot of resistance. I mean, this is why shorts are going to be looking very attractive. If we do get that impulsive down, boom, 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 right? Wave 3, we're getting volume coming in right now. Let's see if it gets follow through. That's what I want to see. We want follow through on this move down. And then the choppiness 4-5. Then the bounce, retest of the value area high, fake out, right? And that could be the shorting scenario in the next 1 to 2 days, right? We'll be paying a close attention to that very, very carefully to see if we can jump into the short in the trading community. But the bullish case, which is a double 1-2 here, you got motive wave, inner diagonal, 3-wave structure, motive wave. What I would have to see here, yeah, it is going to take at least till tomorrow, tomorrow morning, cross at least the 382 Fibonacci time. There's really no rush for any long positions at all here at this moment. Longs preferably should have been taken from lower. And to take a new existing long position, I mean, shorts were more attractive at this zone, and shorts are attractive for the next coming days. I mean, if we do get that impulse down, which is wave 3 would be developing at the moment, 4-5, 4-5, get the bounce. The bounce is going to be, I will very much be interested in the short mainly. And for longs, we're going to have to need a lot of information. When you do form that first impulse down, which could be forming right now as we speak, right, getting the move down in a possible wave 3 locally, that can be either a wave 1 or a wave A. in this scenario, which is the bullish one, bearish one has been discussed throughout the first hour of the stream. Bearish option, anybody that we're going slowly here just to map out the situation. The first hour of the stream, we were mainly discussing the bearish option, which we did take a long time, but we're just keeping this Sunday stream very chilled, right? Bearish option here is getting the impulse. We're forming a potential wave 3 now locally on the 5-minute, and then we get a bit of choppiness here on 4-5. So, you might get that little bounce at the point of control of the entire range, right? Which is, yeah, it would make sense to break down and point of control of the range, which is at 63.4. That's where you finish your 4-5s. Around about 63.4, 63.3. And then the local choppy bounce, which has to be studied very, very carefully tomorrow, because it might be a great shorting opportunity. Because, we might end up starting the week very, very bearish in a wave 3 throughout Tuesday, Wednesday. So, however, in this particular scenario that we are discussing, which is the multiple 1-2, what we are looking at here is the possibility of an ABC. Now, as we lose the point of control of the range, it's going to be, you do have a high volume node down here, 61.7. Yeah, golden pocket. I'm not going to be catching a long position on the move down here. To take a long it's going to take a couple of days of information to have a high probability long setup, because understanding the bearish case that we discussed, you get if this is an ABC, we are downtrending, we are in a bear market. We do have a possible completed ABC here. If you are looking to long any pullback from here, it's I'm not going to long anytime soon. This could very much be the end of the 3-wave structure, and off we go south, right, to tackle 59k in the coming days. So longing is going to be very problematic. There will be a long option. It's just the information that we need is a proven 3-wave correction. And on its own, it's not just going to be bang, 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 oh, I'm longing this, because this could be a wave 3, right? And you really go down very, very aggressively and form an impulse. What needs to be seen here is, after 3-wave that you develop, is get that major rally in an impulse here, getting to the wave B zone. That's when you have a confirmation that this move down is highly likely corrective, because in an impulse you want this move to get follow through in a wave 3, right? And then 4 to 5, right? You form that impulsive move down. So if your third wave fails and find support wherever that is, it might be the point of control. There is a daily level that we have here, but I'm not interested in any longs currently at the moment. You might come down to 61.7 again, right? And maybe you get a bounce in this region. If we consider good level of support, 61.8k is the point of control of this zone, which is, it's in between the 618 and the 78. So we don't have Fibonacci confluence here, but the confirmation for the long for me here is not going to be anywhere today or anywhere, with a lower high and getting another low here. It's not going to be anywhere catching the low. Maybe tomorrow we'll get the levels in the trading community by tonight, tomorrow. for some possible levels and scenarios for an entry. But because we're on YouTube here, we want to try and map the situation and make you understand what needs to be seen to get a confirmation that the move down is likely corrective, right? So this is what would have to happen. Move down, you bounce. This could be a wave 2 or a wave B. In this bullish case, we label it as wave B, right? You get a bit of a range of a bounce. And then you move down. And this is either going to be wave 3 or wave C. We don't know. It might get follow through. It might get a bounce. If it does bounce, wherever that is, it doesn't matter. It might be the one-to-one extension of the A and B wave. Doesn't matter. The bounce getting into the overlap of the lower high is going to be a confirmation that this has very, very high probability of being corrective. So that is the moment that you know that there is a good chance of taking out 64.7k. Because this bullish option that it is available, this is the kind of long that, yeah, you know, it's not the greatest risk to reward to the highs, right? It's almost a 1-to-1 or 1.5 to 1, very, very small. But this has the projection of breaking out in a wave 3. And it's all about position management when we talk about trading here. You might thinking, you know, you're out of your mind. You've been smoking some crack. We're in a bear market, right? We ain't going to pump to 70k. Come on, man. You know, what are you smoking? Look, you know, expect the unexpected, right? It could definitely happen. So this is all about knowing how to position yourself and realizing that taking out the high has higher probability at this point if you get a 3-wave down and the bounce overlapping your B wave. Any pullback from here will be interesting to get into the long with stop loss at the low. Projection is the high. Okay, the first main TP would be 64.8k. But it could explode out in a wave 3 because you have bullish market structure 1 2 1 2, right? And maybe this rally, you know, really breaks out, right, and forms a massive move up of, you know, $3,000-$4,000, forming that wave 3, right? Naturally, wave 3 here, and then you form the 4 5 4 5. You actually go higher and you form an overall long impulsive move to the upside throughout the next week. Now, this is a possibility, right? And as traders, you know, I trade possibilities. You know, I don't trade, I'm not certain about anything. I know the projections that could happen, right? And that's what we need to understand as traders. We need to be very aware of the bearish case, of the bullish case, you know, where the opportunities lie. And this would be an opportunity zone for a new long. You know, I cannot long where we are currently. It's impossible. There's no way that I could long where we are at the moment, despite forming a higher low and maybe taking out the highs again. I cannot long this. I can long a double bottom here. I can long a pump up and a rejection. Yeah, I mean, that's the long that I am in that was explained, right? A long position at the 61.8k zone, 61.7, after getting a push up last week, right, to 62.5. Is good to take out 64.2k plus. That is the current long that I'm in here still, right? Profits have been taken naturally because the highs is the main target. 64.2k is the target of that long trade that we discussed last week, right? It's a nice pump of, you know, $3,000 almost. You know, make some nice gains on that on a move of $3,000 on Bitcoin. That's the moves that I'm looking for. So yeah, this trade Wonderful. I missed the SFP. So now I need to, look for the short. If I'm not shorting the highs on this uptrend on an SFP, I need to look for a short entry. There's no way I can long up here, get into a new long. There's no way. We will be looking for all of the different setups this week, either short or long, because we've got two options here for this week, and we'll be trying to detect the best opportunity inside of the trading community, guys. If you're interested, send me the word access. We'll be following up with the possible setups in there. Naturally, if we're not on YouTube, I won't be on YouTube tomorrow. Devil will be on YouTube. Okay, send me the word access to join the trading community on the Telegram. It's the first link down below. If you sign up through Bluffin, which you get 25% discount, or 2bit or weeks, you do get a few months for free, guys. We'll be sending you the information in the Telegram down below. Let's see if we can find a epic new trade where we can print, right? As my friend CBM likes to say, right? Let's see if we can print this week as well. So yeah, impossible for me to get into a long naturally here, because I understand that this could be an ABC and that's the end of that, and we're coming down to 59k. Impossible for me to short. I need to be patient on the short, which is finishing an impulse, which we could be very much finishing by tonight. We got a bit of a nice move down here. Now what we need to see is the follow through, which is currently happening. Very nice. We are dumping down $600-$700 or so in the last 1 to 2 hours. So yeah, now we want to see that choppiness, right? And then the bounce could be very, very interesting. We might be back testing the value area high if it proves itself to be this is still going to take a few hours, even till tomorrow. Could be back testing value area high here, and that could be the trigger if it's proven corrective and overlapping, right? That could be the short entry as explained on the bearish case by tomorrow, and we're really looking for sub 59k in that case, but we need the information. I'm sorry to say, the information is needed, right? It's like, why don't go short now? Why don't you go long now? Why don't you? It needs patience. We need to see the price develop. As explained, this zone, this retracement was looking for longs. You double bottom, you miss the low, then you need to wait for the pump and the retracement. That's where I longed. So the same here. I missed the short, such as I missed the double bottom, but I longed. I longed the pullback after the pump of the breakup structure, understanding that this was likely corrective, and we got a good chance to take out 64.2. A lot of skeptical, people were really in doubt of all of that, about us rallying to 64.2k plus, but I took advantage of that move. Now, as I missed the high, I need to wait for that finished impulse and get into the pullback. That's for the short, and for a new long position, it's going to be hard for a long position. It's good, it's going to be very, very hard. We need the impulse to finish here, the pullback, which I would be interested in shorting if we detect it's likely corrective, and then not only the move down is going to be here, speculate on a long on the trend line. It's going to be mainly the rally to overlap the B wave, and then the pullback is going to be the long option. That's the only new long position that I'm going to manage to enter in the next a few days, right? It would be a give or take, between Monday and Tuesday, potentially, maybe even Wednesday, depending on how we develop the price action. And the highs is going to be the target. met the first target, right? But there is a valid projection to the upside here that we break out in a wave 3 based on the double 1-2, right? And we talk about both scenarios here, guys, right? Bearish options do look like they have priority because we're in a bear market. We need to get down below 59k. Bear market lows are going to be, we are day traders that try to hold a trade for a few days, little swing trades, right? I don't usually hold a trade for over a month. It might be a week or two. I get into the day trade setup and the trade might last a few days. So this is what it's all about, right? So even though the long option, all the bears are going to be like, you know, this guy's out of his mind, right? But then the pump happens, right? I think I did get a little bit of doubt and hate, right? Why are you looking at longs last week if the chart is bearish, right? And we got bad news. Nasdaq was starting to dump. I'm a Bitcoin trader. I understand what could happen, and you know, I didn't get much love on longs here to take out 64.2k. Not much love, right? When we look at longs, when there's bear market and there's more people bearish, people are going to be like, you know, you're out of your mind, right? Distance music is one of them. Distance music last week, well, throughout middle of the week was like, no way I'm longing, no way this is bearish, right? This is just a setup bounce of $3,000 that we can take advantage of, and it might go higher, right? Who knows? So talking about this scenario, you might think you must be crackers, right? What are you on about? Double 1-2. Is this, you know, what are you smoking, right? Give me a bit of that. It's just it's a possible projection, right? And it's all got to do with how the move down develops in the next couple of days. If it is going to be detected as a correction, which this move down was detected as a correction once we got this leg to the upside at 62. This was my trigger. Pump to 62.5k plus, and the retracement is going to be the zone where I long, right? It's on you know, it's on YouTube. It's actually here. We're moving down here. We get the pump without taking out the low. This is likely going to be a 3-wave correction. Wave A, wave 1, diagonal, 3-wave. We get this pump. The pullback is valid for a long to 64.2k. So the same thing needs to be looked for here to consider a new long, for me anyway. No way I can long here. No way. You know, this could be an ABC. We could be going south very quick. So I need to see a move down, a bounce, move down, a bounce, and another move down in a 5-wave structure. And then the move up, depending on what move up, if it's impulsive, right? And then the correction could be the option to get into the long if we can confirm that the movement down is likely going to be a correction. You're not longing the lows. You're longing mainly the confirmation that it's likely corrective, obviously to project to the highs with the potential of breaking out in a wave 3. Expect reversals, right, when nobody expects them. So yeah, that's a little bit of the bullish, one of the bullish case scenarios here. We're gonna have to see how this does develop in the coming days, and we'll be doing the follow-up with the trading community to see if we can print and make massive gains, right? Let me know, did anybody get into a gold long setup? This was mentioned throughout the beginning of the week, middle of the week, sorry, on gold, guys. Did anybody manage to get into a gold long position? Because I did manage to get into the gold long, and it was a very, very easy to understand setup. create a reaction at the point of control, which we did, and that's your long trigger right over here. Move down, back up, nice little bounce, nice 2-3 to 1 risk reward at the moment on that gold trade, which is printing at the moment. We gave this on YouTube, so hey, that's a very, very easy bounce to get into and make some nice gains. I'm happy with the gains that I've got here with gold. Not as good as Bitcoin, but I'm a Bitcoin trader. If I find something on gold, then I'll trade it as well. Why not? But yeah, let me know anybody that got into that long trade on gold. I know a few were asking on YouTube. I'm sure a few of you are in that long trade on gold. And if you are inside of the trading community, there's less than 24 hours. Inside of the trading competition on bluffing, we are number 1 with CBM. We are likely going to win this competition, guys. On bluffing, congratulations whoever joined. Out of over 3,000 teams, ranked number 1 and ranked number 10 on PNL. So we are at the top here in this game, guys. We know what we are doing. Anyway, let's go. I bought physical gold 2 days ago. Awesome. It's always nice to buy physical gold. Crash coming. Breaking. President Trump says the attack on Beirut should not have happened with a peace deal so close. He's telling all sides to stand down. Warning. Let's not blow it. Yeah, apparently there's some stuff going on, right? I haven't checked the news today, but you never know, right? You never know. Apparently there's been an attack in Beirut. By the looks of things here, by a comment. Like button looks bearish. It does indeed. Make sure to destroy the like button very much, because we are here to talk about scenarios, get people ready. And yeah, let's talk about the bullish case as well. I mean, locally, right? This bullish scenario would take a few more days. As explained, right? If this turns out to be a finished impulse, such as this diagonal, this takes time. Getting a pullback takes time here to confirm, if it is going to likely be corrective or not, right? This is what we do here on YouTube. We get stuff ready for the next coming days, and inside of the trading community, we go through the 5-minute, 15-minute, very, very locally, and get the people ready to take their trading decisions at levels, right? I'll be sharing my new trades, of course, and I'm interested either in a short, depending on how we move down and bounce, or I'm interested in a long if the bounce, right, if the move down does not get follow through and we can detect that this is corrective. So let's jump in a little bit on, there is a couple of more bullish options that we can discuss. We got interesting news next week. On Wednesday, mainly, we do have Fed interest rate decision, FOMC, and Fed press conference. Wednesday is going to be interesting for volatility, as we can see here on the economic calendar. Economic calendar here on mindpillar.com. Remember, on mindpillar.com, guys, which you do have the free website, free valuable tools to use. You have all sorts here. CVD, liquidity heat map on the candlesticks, as you can see right there. Great tools, all-time high percentage drawdown, and economic calendar, heat map. There's a liquidity map. You got all sorts here in the mindpillar.com website. CVD is the favorite. We can see a lot of people coming back for CVD and liquidation heat map. You do have this completely for free for the moment, guys. Take advantage. Okay, it's this link right over here. Valuable free tools just for you, right? Everything free is nice, right? So take advantage. Right now, let's talk about other bullish scenarios and other bullish options, of course, which you might be surprised, right? I can see some comments saying major dump incoming, but what if you form a higher low right now? I can already tell you that we didn't successfully get follow through here with this local dump. Just kind of swept these higher lows from the weekend, getting a bit of a reaction right there. But if you do not get follow through in a wave 3, so if you're forming 1, 2, your third wave, you're getting volume, you're getting the candlesticks, right? This ideally should have got follow through and formed shallow pullbacks. If you get a big V-shaped bounce, this is not going to be looking too great for the bears. A little V-shape overlapping these lower highs. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame here. Matter of fact, yeah, we could actually have a 5-wave move already here with an extended fifth. Sorry, my bad. You had a lower high right there, so yeah, this has a possibility of being an impulse. You've got a diagonal here, impulse down. Let me just take a look at the extension. Yeah, lower probability for a double 1-2, to be honest, because your second wave 1 is 1.38 times longer than your first wave 1 in this case, right? So yeah, a double 1-2 from here to then move down, not the greatest probabilities, as your second wave 1 is much longer than your first wave 1. That does affect the probabilities when you're talking about multiple 1-2s. You want the latest 1-2s to be slightly smaller, not longer. Then it's unlikely to be a second 1-2. So cheeky little bounce here from Bitcoin. If this bounce does overlap this pivot low, we do have a problem for the bears, because if this is a 1-2, this is your formation of the wave 3 basically. Would it be nice to get follow through, right? Would it be nice with this dump? It did have the chance to dump down another $500-600 and for it to be a wave 3 basically, and then wave 4 and 5 to form an impulse. But right now with this bounce, if you start overlapping this zone, this is going to start having a good chance for it to be a correction. A double 1-2 does have an option. I mean, it's not an invalidation that your second wave 1 is 138% times longer, right? 1.382 times longer than your wave 1. It's not common to see, right? So I would give priority to the bulls if we were to move up above 64.2k, right? These lows over here. The only bearish option here would be a double 1-2. Unless you're forming an expanding diagonal to the downside, which is rare. Expanding diagonal. Yeah, an expanding diagonal, it is an option. It is an option, unfortunately. So you could get a major rally and then dump down. Oh. I mean, expanding diagonals are not very common. They're not very common, but you do have a valid expanding diagonal to the downside from the highs here created at 64.7, because you got the move down, lower high, wave 3, wave 4. Wave 4 is longer than your wave 2. That's what you need to see. Wave 5 is longer than your wave 3, which is what you want to see also. So this would be a cheeky scenario. Very, very hard to consider a short, but if expanding diagonals, common targets, is between the 618 and the 78 Fibonacci. So if this were to be a leading expanding diagonal, your common rejection point is in between the golden pocket and the 0.88 Fibonacci. So it's a significant rally back up to 64.4, 64.6. I mean, here very locally, this would be the rejection point. Because expanding diagonals are rare, it's not a high probability short that I would take, even though if it does reject at this point. So that we rally, boom, 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 three-wave structure to the upside into this zone, and it ends up rejecting. I would, you always want to give priority to a possible corrective structure rather than an expanding diagonal here. It's a short that, I would rather short later on weakness and on the corrective bounces, rather than speculating on a short on an expanding diagonal here on a bounce. For me, it's not a short that I never take, really. I mean, you might have a solid, point of control is actually lower. Yeah, it's not a short that I would take. I would rather see this as a missed short position, but just giving you the option that this is possible, right? Everybody has their own strategy. You can be extremely bearish and say, this is going to roll over and I'm going to short any bounce. If it is an expanding diagonal, it is common to get steep pullbacks to the golden pocket 0.88 Fibonacci zone. So, preferably if it is going to be an expanding diagonal, you would rather want to see a decent bounce here to this area. Point of control of this mini range that we've got today is really down here at 64.3. That would still be shallow. You got another high volume node at 64.4. There is some resistance locally from today's price action, but it's not a short that I'm going to take. I'm looking for bigger projections and more high probability setups. So this is not going to do it. An expanding diagonal down is not going to do the job. They are rare, so it's just something that I need to let you aware about. It is possible that this could be an expanding diagonal. Usually you get, very steep pullbacks after an expanding diagonal. And the rejection points usually are between the golden pocket and the 7.8 and the 0.88, sorry. That's usually where you would reject. But expanding diagonals are not very common, so this could very much be an ABC, right? So you form a three-wave structure. You've got a leading diagonal here to the downside, 1 2 3 4 5, three-wave up, and 1 2 3 4 5 expanding fifth wave. So I mean, this on its own can be an ABC. And then, if market were to rally here, you think it's going to reject, but then overall, you actually, form an impulse. This ends up being a three-way corrective structure. If that were to be the case, I mean, bullish options, for me, they just kind of look more attractive at this stage of the market. Because I think a lot of people are bearish. Let's do a poll here to see what the hell is the sentiment in the comment section. Yeah, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Bearish or bullish, guys? let me know in on the poll, guys. You know, it's important for me to see the general sentiment, because if 80% of the people are going to be bearish, I'm going to say, man, we're probably going to pump, right? We're probably going to pump if a lot of people are feeling bearish. I mean, I do feel kind of that this is a very bearish option here. A, B, C. You got, you know, we got a possible 5-wave move finished here. It's very countable. We've got many counts here because this is very overlapping. We can count a 1 and a 2 here, and this is another 1, 2, and then bam, 3. It's like, oh, what? Right? It's this is what's disturbing, right? Where you're going to get piled short positions, people shorting, and then, you know, you just form shallow higher lows, and then it just ends up banging, right? And it's like, oh man, we ended up breaking out in a wave 3. So, I mean, get your votes in. I'm just interested. I mean, without a doubt, we do have the ABC bearish option. You do have a very valid count, as explained at the beginning of the stream, that this could be a, you know, an impulsive move with a running triangle right there for your wave 4. So an impulse finished here does make sense. But the bullish options are very, very real as well, right? Multiple 1-2s, none. There's too many at the moment, but still could be valid. I would say that the invalidation for multiple 1-2s here would be this higher low. If you take out this higher low right over here at 63.4K, then you're no longer looking at multiple 1-2s, right? You lose that low, and yeah, that's basically it, right? You have something finished here if you take out this low. So that's the multiple 1-2, which is the most bullish option. Invalidation is 63,350 higher low. Can we have a finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We do have a possible diagonal here, but sideways corrective structure. 3-wave down, 3-wave up. A bit of a triangle right there. Leading diagonal in a sideways WXY is very, very rare. Usually after a diagonal, you like to get a pretty steep pullback, right? Such as this diagonal. In this diagonal right there, in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a steep pullback to the golden pocket 7-8 in a zigzag move is more common after a diagonal, such as we saw here this week, right? Between last week and this week. That's very, very common after a diagonal. I'm just trying to figure out any other major bullish options, because we've been uptrending right now, but it does look like it wants to roll over. But let's just give the options. If it does not roll over, you know, is there any valid, incredibly bullish option to have a 1-2, and this is a 1-2 here, and then this is a small 1-2, and then, you know, we break up. It is true that, yeah, this could be a very choppy sideways WXY formation, which is rare, but it's not an invalidation. This could be a wave 1 leading diagonal, sideways WXY wave 2, and now you have the impulsive move up here. Now this has a correction. This would still be the invalidation, as the, you know, if you take out this low, then we finish something. You take out 63.4K, or 63,350 basically, higher low, then you've finished something here. Because the most bullish is multiple 1-2s. If you take out that higher low, multiple 1-2s no longer exists. It's an invalidation. You cannot take out the last higher low on a multiple 1-2 when you've stretched out so much. That's the invalidation for the most bullish case scenario, which is multiple 1-2s break out, and then 3, 4, 4, 5s here to the upside. Invalidation is clearly 63,345. The invalidation for this scenario, leading diagonal sideways WXY, 3 wave down, 3 wave up, and you do have a little bit of a cheeky little triangle here, very, very small, and a sideways WXY. That is also your invalidation. This has to be another wave 1 and you're forming a wave 2 here. Same invalidation as the multiple 1-2s. You cannot take out 63,345 on your bullish options here. I mean, I'm not interested in longs. I'm already in a nice heavy long, so for new longs we would have to see as explained before, right, a clear corrective structure throughout the next couple of days, and then I'm going to long somewhere in this zone, just as I longed here, right? I didn't catch the low, break of structure. So yeah, we'll identify a high probability setup. For the moment, we need more information. These very, very bullish scenarios are very, very speculative. Understanding that we are at a risk point at the moment when we long. When you form a move up here to the upside, and this is why we talk about bullish and bearish options, guys, because throughout this week we understood that a leading diagonal is an option in a wave 1 or a wave A here, right? If that is the case, you are looking for the price to take out 64.2k, and understanding this information throughout this week, looking for a higher low is very much an option to look for a larger 3 wave to the upside. Hence the long here. Double bottom was an option as well, which we did talk about. I didn't get into the double bottom. I got into the higher low, and for me it's been a very, very good trading week. That was my main trade. I got into a little short here with a stop loss that I lost $2,000. I shared it with the community, lost $2,200 approximately on a short that was attempted here on Friday. And this was a heavy long position because I understood the probabilities of getting a rally, and then this is the zone that I mainly profited this week. Also with the gold long position. So gold long position is also doing very, very well. Very, very solid entry. This was actually shared on YouTube, which was cool. We discussed the bounce at $4,070. And we did bounce over $200 on gold, so it was a nice entry on gold, which is also doing very, very good at the moment. So I'm happy with the week. This is my main trade. You guys, that I try and look for bigger projections if possible of $2,000-$3,000. If it's more, even better. But this long trade was $25,000 for the week is very nice indeed. Very, very nice. So I'm happy with the week, and I don't want to take any bad decisions, naturally, right? We don't want to give money back to the market. So it's going to be interesting. We'll detect that short or long in the coming days. So yeah, those are the main scenarios at the moment. The main scenarios, do we have wave 1, wave 2, a 1 in a diagonal sideways in WXY, and this is another wave 1 and 2. Woof, that would be cheeky. Very, very hard. Very, very hard at this point to long, because this could be a diagonal. It can be bearish, still go up and then down. Can go up and take out the highs. Very, very hard to trade this, especially on the weekend. There's too many local bearish and bullish options here. ABC for the bullish case, double 1-2 has lower probability, but because your second wave 1 is longer, and then you have the expanding diagonal that could get a major bounce and then move down. Too many different options on the local time frame. We don't want to see that. I would rather be a little bit patient and look for the scenarios tomorrow. I'm happy in my long at the moment. And there will be a bearish option. It's just going to take a bit of time, as explained at the beginning, right? If this ends up being the ABC finish, then the problem here, when you have an ABC, you could extend a larger correction as well, guys, right? This has happened throughout the previous months as well, right? An ABC can transform in many different larger corrective structures as well. So sometimes we think that it's just going to be an ABC and we're going to roll down already, right? Which many times it does. But this could be a wave W, right? You form a zigzag down and this turns to X, right? Because you overlap, and then you form a double zigzag, maybe in a WXY, where you rally here again in a zigzag. Could extend a major correction, or it could be a sideways WXY where you wave X, gets a deep pullback, and then you form a flat later on, and then you move down, right? It can be very confusing. Hopefully it does not continue a longer range, but we will be here to follow up on the setups and the opportunities as we go, right? We cannot predict what we're exactly going to form throughout next week, right? We adapt to local information to take the decisions, right? What else? Let's take a look at CBD here, out of curiosity, on the exchanges, on the mindpillar.com website, where we do have CBD. Nice bullish CBD divergence on Bybit throughout the last few days, getting lower lows on CBD. People shorting like crazy. I attempted a short here, so it wasn't on Bybit though. But yeah, consistent bullish CBD divergence throughout the last couple of days here, forming higher lows on price action and lower lows on Bybit, as you can see here, which is just taking out the highs consistently throughout the last couple of days. CBD is important right now. We don't have anything locally here. Nothing locally on the CBDs. Bearish CBD divergence. This is one of the reasons as well for these lower highs. So we did have early this morning lower highs on price action, higher highs on CBD, forming a lower high. Target is the lows. These bearish CBD divergence did play out on Bybit US dollar tether. We don't have nothing new at the moment. Nothing new. You got lower lows, lower highs. Yeah, nothing on the CBD here. Nothing on Binance, higher highs. Nothing on Binance US dollar tether, higher highs and higher highs. No lower lows on CBD. So yeah, nothing new here on CBD. Just on Bybit, we mainly had the bearish CBDs. I think the Bybit is the most accurate on CBD. Bybit is the best for CBD divergence, in my opinion. They play out, I would say, 80% of the times. the main CBDs. You had lower lows and consistent higher lows here, taking out the highs. And just today, higher highs on Bybit US dollar tether, lower highs on price action, starting to form higher highs on CBD, not managing to take out the highs, and then dump down to the lows. Bybit is the best for CBD in my opinion, and you do have this on the mindpillar.com website, followed with liquidity, which is awesome tool that we've developed for free for the moment, guys. We're giving this for free, of course. It might be weeks, it might be months, but as it is free at the moment, take advantage. You do have the website down below here, mindpillar.com, guys, for CBD, all-time high drawdown, right? Heat map. You got the obviously economic calendar for the news and many different other tools, right? Bubbles. You got fear and greed index, and we are going to be implementing the footprint order flow as well, and I think that's going to be one of the most exciting here to have on the website, followed with all of the different tools that we have. So yeah, take advantage, guys. It is for free at the moment, so mindpillar.com. Right, let's do a little bit of comment section. We've covered mainly what I want to see on Bitcoin. It's going to take a few days. I know it's boring, guys, but this is trading. It's boring, but when we can get a good high probability trade set up, my main trade this week got a short stop loss, which is fine. I shared the loss. It was $2,200 approximately in this zone, and the main long that is riding very, very nicely was this one over here. That's my main long position from Thursday to today, right? 3 days, and happy with making these profits. We did discuss the probability of the move. We did discuss the scenario, right, of getting that higher low after pushing up here. I know Beth Maria did get into that long, so absolutely awesome. She's here in the comment section. She's in that long position. I know that because she shared it, which is awesome. Bearish bull, Beth Maria, you're damn right. Bullish bear, yes, that is true. I'm bullish until we break 4-hour structure. Yeah, I mean the 4-hour structure. I mean, not even the 4-hour. Yeah, I mean, not even lower time frame. I think losing that higher low at 63,350 is gonna be the moment that we're gonna look at two scenarios. A, B, C. The local bullish options, such as the 1-2-1-2, you need a higher low from 63,350, or the multiple 1-2s. I mean, it's still an option, but a little bit too many on the formation. That's still your invalidation. So once that level is hit, if it is going to be hit throughout today and tomorrow, we're going to have two main options. They're bearish A, B, C, which you form an impulsive move down, and then the wave 2, right? Impulse down, and then the corrective structure that needs to be detected in the next 1 to 2 days. That's the moment that I want to look for shorts. But I need to see the overlap, the choppiness, the bearish channel, right, kind of formation. That's going to be the swing short back down to 59k. But I need this information. Break the structure, break the local bullish options, have your wave 1 in place, which needs to be an aggressive impulse with your wave 3 with high volume, which kind of looked okay throughout the last hour, right? We're moving down, but want a little bit of more power, right? This could still be a higher low right there. Once that is broken, then the wave, detecting that correction for a speculative wave 2 is going to be the option. And the other bullish option, if you take out 63,350, the only one that we would have available is that multiple 1-2, where your first wave 1 is a leading diagonal, wave 1, wave 2, and here you just have a regular impulse with a running triangle, very difficult for the average Joe to detect. I just, you detect this very, very quickly, of course, because when you're range, I like looking for, when you go sideways in an uptrend a bit, you want to try and label it as a potential wave 4, and a running triangle fits here perfect. So if you do take out that low at 63,350, then it's either going to be A, B, C. Shorts will be interesting for the speculative wave 2. Hopefully it gets follow through if we're in the short. But if it's not going to get follow through and you get a massive bounce in an impulse getting to this price action lower high, then this will likely be corrective, and it's going to be time to look for long positions in this area for either just hitting the high as a main first TP, but with the projection of the double 1-2 to break out in a wave 3, right? Which will be the surprise pump. Hello, unexpected. Bitcoin caught you with your pants down again, right? Kind of situation. So we'll be monitoring this in the next few days to see if we can see a proven corrective move. If we end up losing 63,350 higher low, which is the main level that the bulls need to hold, because we are uptrending. We are in bullish local market structure. Local higher time frame is bearish, right? This is why at this point, we very much understand it's over, right? That's it. This is an ABC. It's going to go down. Very much aware of that. Okay, very much aware of that. This could be the high, and that's it, right? We end up rolling down in the coming days. It's very, very much an option at this point. And as I missed the short at this SFP, maybe some of you entered, maybe some of you are short. I'm not. I'm a very patient trader, and I want a confirmation of the local bullish trend being broken, which for me is 63,350 higher low. That's the confirmation that we likely have something finished at the high. This wave from 60k, from 60.7k to 64.6k, once that 63,350 is hit, this move is likely finished. It's a finished move, which would be in a 5-wave structure, of course. No multiple 1-2s, no large 1-2 and this 1-2. There's no multiple 1-2s anymore if you lose that 63,350. But if you do not take out that low and we start pumping here, right, it could be cheeky, right? It could be cheeky, right? As long as you're forming higher lows from the previous ones, this can snap out, and you catch with your pants down, just like I got catched with my pants down with this move down. For me, I was not expecting the aggressiveness of movement down here to happen so fast. I was expecting 60k to be hit, but not as fast. So it did caught me with my pants down, and didn't manage to profit this movement to the downside, unfortunately. But doesn't matter. Trading is, you miss a move, I'm not worried. I'm worried about people getting into longs here. That's what I'm worried about. Not my case anyway, but I know people get hurt with these moves. If you're in the wrong side of the market, you get hurt. But this is why we are, for me, it's like if we do take out this high, and an SFP is valid, but an SFP double top is only if you enter here, right? And stop loss is the high, right? And now that we're talking now about this ABC bearish option, maybe people are going to get into short, right? And they don't realize the multiple 1-2 scenario, regardless if it's this one or if it's the multiple one here, and the breakout in a wave 3 at some point. And then people that are going to be shorting and adding to shorts are going to get wrecked. Just like people that, long and add to longs in this zone. Trade level by level and reject where you need to reject. If you don't, for me, this is not a no trade zone for shorts. If we pump out from 64.6k and we do not double top, there's not much resistance in this area till we get above 66k. So you could pump $2,000-$3,000 very, very quick, and that's where you can get hurt. Basically, there's not much resistance, and understanding the bullish case, which is the multiple 1-2s, can be a big problem. Anyway, smash up the like button. Just let me get this Okay, sorry about that. Right, let's go through the comp section. And yeah, it's just I like these zones and these ranges, guys. This is really where I can spot the trading opportunities. I seriously really like this. I know that this week coming, I'm going to get into a new trade, which will likely be a good trade. You just need to be a little bit patient. I mean, if we were to move up from here, then whoever remains in longs is going to be happy. It's not something that I really favor and say that there's high probability. This does look like an ABC, right? It's just, yeah, would be very interested in shorts, right? Hopefully we can take advantage if we were to break down sub 59k. Maybe this week there is that potential for that to happen, and hopefully we can detect that impulse down and the correction, back testing the value area high of this range. It could be an interesting scenario. This is going to be the heavy short zone. 15-minute time frame, detect the impulse, boom, 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 right? And then the choppy overlap bounce. Yeah, and that needs to be the zone that I would go heavy. It's going to take 1 or 2 days to develop at least. If it breaks down lower, then the bounce might be, in this zone, back testing the point of control. We don't know where that bounce is going to happen, but there will be time to detect that in the next 1 to 2 days. Right, let's go through comment section. Much love, guys. I'm going to take a look at the poll here. What's going on? How are you feeling? Bearish or bullish? 62% bearish. Slightly more bears. Little bit of bulls out there. 38% feeling bullish. Interesting. It's not major bearish, so there's a bit of a balance. If it would have been 80% bearish and 20% bullish, I would say, guys, I'm entering along right now here on a higher low. Right? Go against the herd, they would say, with a invalidation at the low here. I mean, if it were to be the most bullish case, that's your first invalidation for this uptrending local market bullish structure. I have a buy order at 32k and 29k. Woo! I'm not sure if we're going to go down there. We might in the bear market. But yeah, 32, 29. My bear market target zone, somebody asked at the beginning of the stream. Obviously it's a big range, but this is where I would heavily DCA. 50 to 35k, I think, is a realistic bear market target zone. It's a bit of a range, but timing the exact low, you could say by October. Some people say October we are at 35k, but we don't have much. There's not that much time here, right? If we consider some people saying the low will be in October, and some people are calling for 35 or 34k. Not that much time here. We'd have to get a brutal momentum to the downside in the next couple of months if we want to get that down that low. So if we are following the 4-year cycle theory, we just have about 4 to 5 months of bear market, right? What do you guys think about that? I'm waiting to 39k. Because of the news, now I think we're going to dip a bit around 62k. Around about 62k. Yeah, maybe. We did get a bit of bad news. Someone was saying something about Beirut. Let's take a look at any nice naked point of controls. We don't have anything here very exciting. Yeah, no, I don't have any major SFP levels either. For me, these are not nice SFPs. I'm not interested in any long position if we move down here. Neither this, or this. It's going to be a patient game here for the next 1 to 2 days, I think, to look for a long. This is going to be hard for a long position. Unless, you'd have to be in a long position already, of course, from this zone. But for a new one, it's going to take a bit of time to detect a correction here, which we will follow through, of course, in the next coming days, mainly in the trading community. As explained, that's where we go through the lower time frame. If I get into a short or a long in the coming days, the community will know. Okay, so make sure to send me the word access if you are interested in that. Join Bluffin, 2bit, Velto, Weeks. You got a few options on exchanges. Minimum deposit for your own trading, and you get access for free for a few months, guys. Okay. Right, Trump claimed a deal would be signed today and Bitcoin could break resistance. Seems bearish. Oh man, this whole thing about if I had to pay attention to the news every day to take my trading decisions, I wouldn't trade. I probably wouldn't trade. Some people claimed that the pump that we got in the last few days to get above 62.4k, 64.8, 64.2k, that this was because of the deal potentially signed, and that's why we were rallying here. But the decision of the long position was purely technical. This long position that we discussed this week was just by technicals. This pump was the trigger to have a chance to get to 64.2k. Only this that confirmed that this was likely a correction. That was the main trigger, despite whatever happens with the news and whatever. Positioning, risk management, technicals. So yeah, I'm not very much of a news guy. I know how to trade the charts, and you should as well, right? We can, news definitely can have an impact, but to take a trading decision based on news is not the way to go, at least with my understanding, with my experience, with my success in trading. It's just not. News doesn't matter. You need to be aware of the news, just to not take any bad decisions, of course, but not trade because of the news. Insane trading IQ. I ordered a Dumperoni. Hopefully my order gets filled. I do pay attention to news, like obviously FOMC will matter. Yeah, I mean, FOMC will matter. We got that on Wednesday. We do have FOMC, Fed press conference. That will be on Wednesday. Interest rate decision. Yeah, we need to be aware of the volatility. So if you are in any local trades, say that you're in a long or a short, and the price is basically almost at your entry, and the news is going to kick in 5 minutes, it's one of those trades that you probably want to close because there's news and it might spike up or spike down. That's where I consider news, right? If I'm in a trade and basically the price action is in my entry, I would rather close the trade, really, because it could get a massive pump or a dump and go against me very quick. That's when I take, obviously, the FOMC into consideration if my entry is close to the price. Bank of Japan, I think, meets the day after. I love that Trump is doing for the world, but we gotta be patient, not East making peace in the world. Trump claimed that a deal will be signed today and Bitcoin going to break resistance. Market M, guys, first a shout out to my moderators. Thanks for joining the stream today on a chilled Sunday. Just discussing a little bit of the scenarios, okay? Bullish, bearish option, local invalidations for the very bullish scenario. I have no local trades, no interest. There was a short setup that was valid of an SFP of 64.6k, which we did on Bybit here. It was a valid short position to enter with a tight stop loss. It's a level that we mentioned inside of the trading community, okay? Just for you to be ready, right? Levels of interest. We provide the levels of interest, the invalidation, the possible setups, and obviously, you know, some people would take their own decisions on these levels, and this was one of them. I didn't take it, for example, but maybe some of you did get into that SFP from that lower high. So yeah, all of the scenarios really have been discussed. How to approach them in the coming days. We will be doing the follow-up, of course, in the trading community and also on YouTube as we go along. Let's go through comment section. Bounced off GP. Yeah, we got that little bounce of that higher low right there. It's coming soon, Michael, just not fast enough. Crypto folks suffering too long, but the Iranian people suffered longer. There is never going to be peace in the Middle East. I mean, there's always something going on there, isn't there? There's always something happening in the Middle East, right? What can we do? Right. Much love, Bath Maria, Mark Dutch, Market M. Shout out to the mods. GTA 6 before peace. Yeah, probably or not, right? Maybe you get peace in the Middle East before GTA 6 comes out at this stage. Hi sir, I am new. Ankitoya, much love. Thanks for joining. yeah, we basically almost 3 hours on the stream at the moment, so it's been a long one. Gonna let me know any questions, guys. Let me know. We can do a little bit of a Q&A session. All of the scenarios, I mean, obviously 2 hours plus is enough to analyze this local structure. I mean, I think we can zoom out on the higher time frames ever so slightly. I think we haven't done a higher time frame update on Bitcoin on this movement down. And we can talk about the bearish options here on the 4-hourly time frame, which I think, yeah, we can do that. We can do that because this latest move that we got from $82,000, what do we have here on the formation, right? We haven't discussed this for over a week now, and we can do that on the stream. What scenarios do we have? Obviously, we have the biggest move here. We're getting a bit rangy and a bit bouncy. So you know where I'm going here, I think. I know a lot of you with experience do know. We could be in wave 4 formation. Big move down, high volume. You got your 1 2 1 2, bang, 4 5 4 5. Do we get this throughout the next coming weeks? If we were to extend the 4 5s very, very slowly throughout, you know, July, maybe even August, I could say that maybe we could be getting closer to the bear market lows faster than we think. We can discuss higher time frame. Why not? I was going to do a Q&A session, but I think higher time frame. I'm a dreamer, that's all. Andy, you didn't see the projection for that SFP on the trading community. I didn't see the projection for that SFP on the trading community, sorry. Which one? This one over here? It's a level that we discussed a couple of days ago, okay? It's a level when we were ranging in this zone. Levels to take into consideration, right? We got the gap with no major resistance here, and we discussed that lower high right there as a potential SFP formation. 64,600, right? We didn't SFP successfully from this, but we did from this one for the moment, right? It's a level to take into consideration, right? We share the levels, we share the waves. I'm not sure if it's that one, but Andy, how do you stay so handsome? Also, what is your morning routine? Interesting. I basically try and wake early. 6 a.m. is usually when I wake up, and wash face, right? Coffee, and I look to do a CrossFit session most of the days of the week at 6:45 till 7:45. 1 hour of training, and then obviously, you know, just a general breakfast. I usually have eggs, juice, banana, some avocado, all of that fancy stuff that you see on Instagram. I actually do it. I don't talk about it though. And yeah, then throughout the morning, around about 9-10, that's when I jump onto the charts when London open, and get some stuff ready, analysis ready, and look for the opportunities basically. CrossFit is for women. It keeps me fit though. It keeps me fit. Yeah. We do heavy weight lifting as well in CrossFit, at least where I go. There's one day a week where we do bench press, squats, and deadlift. But yeah, CrossFit I think is very complete. I like it because it's very complete. But anyway, that's your opinion, I guess. Let me know what you do. Andy's gay confirmed. No, I'm not actually. But if I was, nothing bad about that, I guess, right? We live in a modern world, right? But yeah, I can't tell you are serious or trying to wait. Okay, you're talking about somebody else here. Right, let's talk about the higher time frame. Much love. Let's go through the higher time frame scenarios. The possibility of forming an unfinished impulse on the higher time frame, 4-hourly time frame here, where we have this massive leg to the downside. We'll talk about the bullish options, the surprise pump, the unexpected pump to the upside, bump and run scenario, right? You could arguably discuss that a kind of a bump and run here would be a possibility. We used to talk about bump and runs a lot before on the channel, not anymore. But yeah, bump and run. Is a bump and run possible? Bump and run pattern. Who remembers these? We saw many of these on Bitcoin throughout the previous years. But you have the downtrend structure, a major drop, consolidation, and then start rallying right to the trend line of the bump and run. Naturally, we are downtrending. Price looks very bearish, but there is a chance of a bump and run. Got the lower high trend. If you were to rally up to the trend, you know, there is a big possible reversal scenario here. Sounds unrealistic, right, at this stage, but the bullish option would be an ABC flat, because if you were to finish a low here, this highly likely is a 3-wave move, which could bring an A wave, B wave, and then the C wave, right, in a flat. So we would still be looking for downside later on in the coming months, but a cheeky short squeeze reversal to form a flat is there. I mean, I'm not a fan of this, really. We are downtrending. This could be a correction, but it is possible, right? Hence, you know, looking for longs down here for me is much more attractive as a swing. Even if we take out the lows, this is looking for swing long scenarios down here. If you miss the short, this is not a zone to be bearish down here, as in, you know, for swings, in my opinion. Longs look more attractive. Even though, I mean, I'm interested in a short, as explained with the bearish case, to take out 59k. It's just we need a little bit of more information locally. Well, yeah, I'm interested in shorts, no doubt, to take out 59k, but we need a little bit of more info to be confident on the break of the local bullish structure that we have. We'll be following on that. For the moment, it is long. We are winning. We are number one on the bluffing competition, and in a long that is doing very, very well from 51.7. That we did give a hint on YouTube. We did give a hint on the possible local bullish case, what needs to happen. If we pump to 62.5 and we retrace, I'm longing that 61.7, 61.6k zone, right? The pullback, basically. I am going to get into that long position to take out 64.2k. This was explained throughout, you know, mid of the week on YouTube. And that is the long that I got in heavily. I'm more interested in longs, if I'm honest, because, you know, I realize that the probability side of things, right? And that is the main long here. So let's see if we can get into either a new long position or a short position in the next 24 to 48 hours. If we get proven to have an impulse down here, which is not the case, right? There's still not enough info, right? There's not enough info here to say that this is bearish and higher low structure. It's not enough. Not enough. When it does this, that's enough to confirm you're losing higher lows, you're changing the uptrend. Then this becomes interesting for the short without a doubt. Any channely bounce is going to be the moment to pull the trigger. So we need a bit of more weakness, to confirm the bearish case. Right, on the 4 hourly time frame, there is unexpected bullish case, which would be an ABC flat. This turns to be a 3-wave down. We don't claim the lows again for the 4-5 to form an impulse. And this turns into a 3-wave movement down. That would naturally just rally very aggressively in an impulse, in an ABC flat. I mean, that would be very surprising if that does happen, but it is a possibility. But the main bearish option, which is, I think, the favorite one, you got a big move down, wave 3 potential with high volume. The main bearish option, which, you know, I would say that has kind of a bit of priority, just because we're downtrending, is this scenario right over here, which is an impulse. You can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for your wave 1, wave 2, 1 and 2, big move down, high volume. Always want to label it as wave 3 formation. As you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this would complete the wave 3. You need one more wave 5 to complete the long impulse, and then a 4 and a 5. This would take many weeks, a couple of weeks easily, to develop at least 2, even 3 or 4, to then generally have an impulse down here. 1, 2, 1, 2, big move, shallow bounce. It looks choppy, it looks like it's getting exhausted, right? And roll down to sub 59k, bounce, and another move down. This is what we could expect in the coming days. And then longs down here would be extremely interesting if we get this kind of price action in the next couple of weeks. If we get this choppy downtrend, get ready for the reversal. This is reversal price action, finishing an impulse down. We would need a few more 4-5s still to develop, which is going to take easily a few weeks. So that's going to be the bearish option locally, but will be bringing a significant bounce to the upside. We've got some very interesting levels down at 57, 58k zone. It might chop down, fake out, but if we move in such price action and reclaim, it's going to be very, very interesting to look for heavy longs here for a bounce of $10,000 plus, right? This is going to be higher time frame. It's going to take a few weeks, but this is basically finishing an impulse. You need a couple of 4-5s on the formation here. That's mainly it, right? Mainly the bearish option, because you have the highest volume, 4-5, 4-5, because you got 1-2, 1-2. One scenario that could happen: is there a chance of an impulse finished here? I mean, we did talk about of an expanding fifth wave, which is very much, it's kind of still it's still possible. Expanding waves are less common than a expanding fifth waves are less common than an expanding third wave, right? It's more common to get an expanding third wave when we consider Elliott wave theory, meaning that a 4-5 here would be the most common thing, really. But there is a valid count for an expanding fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. In this fifth wave, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A very small 4-5 here. if this is the bearish impulsive move down on the higher time frame, it is true, as I explained many times, that the correction, despite of having a an impulse with the third wave being the longest or the fifth wave being the longest, it is common for the retracement to get above the fourth wave or get round about the fourth wave territory. So fourth wave is all the way up here at 76k. It seems like impossible that the price of Bitcoin at this stage with this downtrend would get up there, but if this is the correct count, which is valid, there's no invalidation, it's just rare that you see wave fives expanding. The target zone for this pullback, which we would be labeling mainly as a wave 2, is all the way up at the 76k region. And that's just because it's just common to retrace to the wave 4 zone. On a normal impulse or an expanding wave 5 impulse, it doesn't matter. Wave 4 is usually the zone where you want to pull back to. But that would be zones that I would be interested to short. We need to really check how we get up there. But yeah, that's an option as well on the higher time frame. An expanding fifth wave. We did talk about this throughout the last couple of weeks. That would just bring a larger pullback. You got the bearish option of an regular impulse, which is the 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. This would bring a great long-in opportunity. We'll have to really look at the price action, how it develops on the higher time frame. If we do get this choppy 4-5, we need to get ready for longs if this were to be the case, as swing longs. And the ABC option here as well, A wave, 3 wave, right? And you can fit a 3 wave here. I wouldn't give it priority, just because either in a WXY or an ABC, this wave is really extended for a corrective structure as a C wave or a Y wave, which is twice or even 3 times longer, right? So you can fit a 3 wave move here. I haven't got the count here ready, but 3 wave down, yeah, kind of a WXY fits here, where you have a 3 wave down in W, 3 wave down, sideways or flat here for your wave X, and then, you know, a zigzag down here. So boom, boom, boom. 3 wave down, sideways, running flat, and then the 3 wave down. I mean, the thing is, having a 3 wave move down here, that it is very, very rare to have such an extension in your wave X being, I don't know, is it over twice, even 3 times longer? Yeah, almost, yeah, 3 times longer from your wave W. It is not very common. So I would give priority to either the impulse down, which is still finishing the 4-5s, or having an extended 5th wave, which gets a longer bounce on the higher time frame. It doesn't really, still have a few options on the higher time frame, but we focus mainly on the lower time frame where we have the opportunities, right? 15-minute, 1 hour is where we look for the trade setups, and that's what we are going to do in the trading community this week. Okay, so for the moment, only remaining on the gold long and the Bitcoin long from 61.8k zone, and happy to be in these longs for the moment. To take a short, we have to get a double top. I would consider a double top, not shorting here, not longing here, not doing anything here. New short, we need a clear impulse correction. We'll be analyzing the resistance levels, back test of the value area high potentially. We'll be looking at a few options to take that short as a possible wave 2. It needs 1 to 2 days to develop. And for the bullish case, we need a 3 wave down overlap, right? And then maybe a long later on. which will take a couple of days, of course, to develop as well. And that's for the bullish 1-2-1-2 bang, right? Looking for longs here. Need a bit of more info that we'll figure out in the coming days. Legends, thanks so much for joining today's stream. Smash up the like button. Over 200 likes. That's awesome. Let's try and get to 300. Remember where you can find us. It is in the trading community. We'll be following up with the new trading opportunities. Happy to stay in these longs for the moment on gold and Bitcoin, just because I've got an epic entry, taken some profits, almost 50%. Let's see how this develops. I am not in a short. I'm interested in a short. We'll figure out how I can enter a safe short in the coming days. Thank you guys. You know where to find us. Trading community. Send me the word access. Jump in to be in the profitable side of the market. Much love to everybody. See you soon. Much love. Thank you. See you in the next one.